Afternoon, everyone. I'll call to order the Community Development Committee. I am Councilman Tyrone Johnson, and once again, I call to order March 3rd, 2026 at 4 p.m. And council members that we do have, of course, yours truly, Councilman Tyrone Johnson, Chair. We have Council Member Chris Williams, and we have our Mayor Pro Tem, Monica Peters, that are here. We do have absent Councilmember Tim Andrew and Councilmember Vicky McKeever. And so we will move on. We only have one thing on here for today. 2026-58 is a 2026 through 2027 Annual Action Plan Overview. And Nina Wilson, our Community Development and Housing Director, she will present this, and this is just for information only. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I wanted to share with you all this afternoon information as we're getting ready to kick off preparation and planning for the 2026-27 Annual Action Plan. Just an overview of our department. We do have 19 staff members. Right now we have 4 vacancies. We have 2 in our Affordable Housing Division and 2 in Local Codes Enforcement. And our goal is to strengthen neighborhoods by providing decent, safe, and affordable housing for low and moderate income families, promoting community and economic development opportunities, assisting with the provision of services for homeless and other vulnerable populations, as well as strategic code enforcement. As you know, we are a HUD entitlement community, so what that basically means is that each year we do receive a federal allocation of community development block grant funds, and that is based on a formula allocation. And with those funds, we can do eligible activities such as acquisition of real property, rehabilitation of residential properties, public improvements, as well as economic development activities. And each one of these activities do have to meet, it does have to meet a national objective for the program, which is to benefit low and moderate income persons, prevention or elimination of slums or blight, or address community development needs having a particular urgency. And in addition, we are also a home participating jurisdiction. So under the HOME program, again, a formula allocation, we receive funding that is allocated specifically for the development of affordable housing. So the intent is to provide decent affordable housing to lower income households, expand the capacity of nonprofit housing providers, strengthen the ability of state and local governments to provide housing, and to leverage private sector participation. And for the one-year annual action plan, it is basically the strategic plan that describes the sources, uses, and the beneficiaries of our programs, and it primarily identifies how the city plans to use those CDBG and HOME funds. For 2026-27, this is anticipated funding. For the federal funds, we have not received our allocations yet. I do hope that we will get them before May 15th, that is when the deadline is for submission of the annual action plan. But if they aren't out before then, we just have to basically extend submission of the plan. But we are estimating this based on our current allocations for the 25-26 year. So we're looking at about $750,000 for CDBG, $400,000 for HOME, and about $10,000 in program income. Now, we have received award notifications for our state funding from North Carolina Housing Finance Agency, and we will receive $137,500 for the urgent repair program, and $140,000 will be designated for construction training. And $70,000 of that actually comes from Housing Finance, and we match that at $70,000. So it's a total of $140,000 for the program. We have not received the award for VITA yet. This, again, is based on our current allocation of $16,500 for the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. And then in the general fund this year, this is community development, the entire department, including local codes enforcement, $2,357,929 from the general fund. And we have proposed programs which are Pretty much, I would say, based on the programs that we currently implement and execute. But I say proposed because this is a planning process. And later you will see the dates for our community meetings. But this, again, is the time for us to look at how we're using our federal funds and are we allocating funds where they are most needed. So we are looking at the emergency and urgent repair program. Again, homeowners can receive up to $25,000 in assistance. The down payment assistance and incentive program, we do still have the citywide and the core city incentive programs. Right now, that is $7,500 or $10,000 in specific target areas. And right now, the only target area that we're working in is Southside. So you can receive $10,000 in down payment assistance in Southside.
I'm sorry.
Pardon me?
Mr. Chair, you said, so that's the only place you can get to 10. Can you get to 75 anywhere else?
You
Or
can
it's
get to
just-
75 everywhere else.
Okay, thank
It's just in Southside, we, as an incentive to actually purchase in the neighborhood,
Gotcha.
we're doing 10,000. We did also offer that in the Cedro community as well, but of course, all of those properties have been sold. And public services, of course, these are services that are provided by our community-based organizations and partners that benefit low and moderate income residents. And these could be things such as labor, supplies and materials, crime prevention, youth programs, health programs. So an array of services that are provided to lower income households. Single-family new construction, which we are partnering with our nonprofit housing developers, community housing development organizations, or CHODOs. They are building affordable housing units in the Southside community right now, and we are working with 3 of those organizations, Community Housing Solutions, Habitat for Humanity, and Black Lamb Development. The construction training program, again, is in partnership with North Carolina Home Builders Association and the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency, and that is an 8-week construction or carpentry training program for income-eligible residents. We have the VITA program, or Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, that offers free tax preparation to individuals and families that meet certain household income requirements. And then Core City Revitalization. And these are the efforts that we are undertaking to stabilize and enhance neighborhoods and housing conditions through acquisition, infill development, infrastructure improvements, and property maintenance. And so our schedule over the next several months, we do have 2 citizen participation meetings coming up. On March the 12th at 6:30 p.m., we will be meeting at Moorhead Recreation Center. On March the 17th at 6:30 p.m., we will be meeting at Oakview Recreation Center. And beginning April 1st, we will put out a draft of the annual action plan, and that will be available for a 30-day public review and comment period. And then we are looking at bringing the plan back to you all next month, and that will actually be the draft where we will identify specifically how many projects and actually, hopefully, like I said, we'll have the funding allocations by then, but to actually know which programs are going to be funded at what amounts and how many people and households we anticipate serving. So you'll have more information on the actual plan and the draft that will go out. So then we will be looking at trying to get a public hearing scheduled for April the 20th, and then look at get submission approval on May the 4th. Now, I will say we have done that a couple ways in the past. When we have the public hearing, we have also said that if there are no additional changes or no significant changes to the draft, then you all have approved it at that point when we have the public hearing. But we have put in a date that if we need to bring it back, we have that May 4th date to request submission for approval. And then it is due to HUD by May the 15th.
Okay.
So do you all have any questions regarding the annual action plan or anything else that I might be able to provide information?
The VITA, you said you haven't received the allocation from the state for that yet?
That comes from the IRS, and we
Okay.
work through, it actually is awarded to Reinvestment Partners, which is another nonprofit organization, and we actually contract with them. So we haven't we are funded for the current tax season. I apologize.
That's where I was
Right, so
going. Okay.
we're funded for the current tax season, but for 2026 tax season, we have not received a notification. And right now, we're looking at hopefully receiving the same amount, if not more, but hopefully we'll be able to continue to operate that program and administer that program.
You may not have the numbers with you, but how did that go this year?
It has gone like, well, no, I don't have numbers, so I won't say, but all appointments have been booked up since like the end of January, early February. We did have, of course, when we had the bad weather, they had to reschedule and things like that. So they are as busy as they have been in years past.
Good.
But hopefully we'll have some numbers for you. Hopefully we can at least give you some tentative numbers in April. We can give you an update on that.
Thank you.
And one dad had a question. So I saw on March 12th, I think you're going to be at
Moorhead.
Moorhead. And then
Yes, ma'am.
March 17th at Oakview.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you also, like your staff, at some of the neighborhood association meetings, take some of that information?
We can, and that's one of the things. Typically, what I do is not necessarily the individual neighborhood associations, but I go to the leaders meeting, and I will do a presentation for the leaders at the leaders meeting, which is all of the
Okay,
neighborhood
okay, okay,
associations. And that's at Moorhead Recreation Center on
Oh,
the fourth
perfect.
Monday.
Okay.
And so that's typically how we've done it.
Okay.
But we certainly can provide additional information to the individual neighborhood associations.
Thank you.
Councilman Johnson here. Quick question, and I know I probably have asked you before in the past, but how many people, you may not know the exact number, but are using the assistance program for down payment?
For this year, Don, can you give me that number right off? I apologize. He did
No,
send
no,
me an
no,
email.
you're fine.
What is it for this year? This year. Okay, so for this year, 4. Last year, we did 10. The year before that, we did 18. So I've looked at the last 3 years. And the year before that, we did 18. And then 2023, we did 8. So it's kind of been up and down a little bit over the last few years. And again, we're just kind of looking at just the housing industry itself has kind of cooled just a little bit. And then, of course, the lack of housing within the price ranges that our residents that, are seeking affordable housing, it's just not available for them to purchase.
Okay. Seemed like you knew I was going to ask you that question. Y'all had those numbers. Thank you, appreciate you.
So the down payment assistance program, is there still a program like available now with the state?
Yes,
And
yes,
so
the
that can be
state,
used in conjunction to,
yes, they can layer that,
all right.
yes.
How much is the state?
15, up to $15,000.
Now, I was under the impression that, and I could be wrong, that if you get it from High Point, you can't get it from the state or vice versa. Or you can get both of them?
You can, they can
Yeah,
be layered,
okay.
but what has happened, I think, again, is that we can't over-subsidize. So we want to make sure that when we say that the mortgage is affordable, that it's no more than 30% of their household income. So that's really where that subsidy comes in, is so that we can get that, what they're financing, get that principal amount down. So typically, if they're already at around 30%, for us to put in $7,500, that might bring them under that, and that's okay. We just don't want to over-subsidize. But I think a lot of times when lenders sort of get to that sweet spot, they don't necessarily seek additional down payment.
So they could get up to 7,500.
Yes, but
Perhaps it could
typically
be
it's
lower,
7,500.
but, okay.
Typically, it is the full 7,500, though.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Great. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And any comments before we go, other than go vote? Today is voting day. Make sure that we all go vote. I believe the polls are open to 7:30. As long as you are in line, you should be able to vote, cast your vote. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And meeting now adjourned.